Yay! Good afternoon and happy Sunday. I'm Mrs. Israel, and I'm going to be teaching you today how to make Ankara clutch purse. Now I have cut my pieces and pre-wrapped it before now, but I'm just going to run through the materials I used. I used the chipboard. Here's my chipboard. I used Kariboard, and I added Wordie to my Kariboard. This is like felt. It's like a felt material. It's wool-ish kind, and it has gum on one side that you can iron your fabric on. It's usually used by tailors. They use it to make breast tubes for dresses or tops. Okay, then my material, Ankara fabric, my lining, your tape rule, scissors, your choker, used ruler, pencil, and of course my gum. Okay, so I just cut out my pieces. My chipboard to be 17 inches, like a 16.5 by 12 inches. That's what I cut out from this, and I used it to cut out my Kariboard also. Then I glued on my Wordie on the other side, on this side, before I ironed on my fabric. And I cut the fabric to have 1 inch extra on all sides so that it can wrap around. And I did the same thing for my lining for this also. Okay, so now for the sides, we're also going to be using magnetic lock. I'm going to show you that when it's time for us to use it. Okay, now for the sides, just put your pieces together this way. The lining will be on the inside and the fabric part will be at the outside, and you just fold it. I always do this from every stage. When I just cut out my pieces, I put them together also this way, so that if there's any excess I can cut it out. So do that when you're doing it, and then you can shape the flap in any shape that you want. But I wanted this shape, so I just cut mine out that way. Okay, my flap is 5 inches, so from the 16.5 I measured out 5 inches and I folded it. That's how I got my flap, and then I shaped it however I want on my flap. Okay, so now for the sides, you're going to put it together this way, and then you take your tape rule and measure from this inner part downwards. That's 5 inches from that part downwards, and then you measure the opening also, and I have 2.5 inches. That's 2 inches this way. So now for the length of it, that is 5 inches, you're going to add 1 inch when you're cutting out chipboard. We're using chipboard also for the sides, so you're adding 1 inch to the length and 2 inches to the opening. So this is 5 inches. You're cutting out 6 inches from your chipboard, and the width is 2 inches. You're cutting out 4 inches from your chipboard. Okay, so and you're cutting 2 pieces. Now each piece of it is going to carry the fabric and your lining, the fabric and your lining. So I'm going to cut that out quickly. Okay, so cutting out 2 pieces of my chipboard and 2 pieces of lining, and I'm going to divide this into 2 for my fabric. So each chipboard is going to have 1 lining, 1 fabric, 1 lining, 1 lining, and 1 fabric. Now to create the side, okay, you're going to, if you want to sew it, this is the time to sew. you're going to put the right side of both fabric, both your lining and your fabric together, right side facing each other. Then you're going to sew it just about ½ inch sewing allowance. Now that means when you're cutting your lining and your fabric, remember that when we did the chipboard, when I gave you the measurement for the chipboard, I added 1 inch to the length of it. 1 inch to the length of it. So the length for the purse is 5 inches, and we cut out 6 inches for this. Now when you're cutting out for your lining, you add ½ inch to the length. Only the length, you add ½ inch to the length, both for the lining and for the fabric. So you're cutting 6½ inches for both lining and the fabric for each side pieces. That's the only difference. The opening is the same thing. Okay, so that said, sewing, you're just going to put 2 pieces, the lining and the fabric, you're going to put them the right side facing each other, and then you're just going to sew straight down, just like that, and then you flip it open. That's how you're going to do it. And if you